Please go ahead. You want to use this chair or you want to stay there? Live, and people are watching all over the world, wherever they are. Whoever is tuned to be okay. But I had made some notes about my speech. Normally, I just thought that I will let you know that Kashmir is one of the most debated conflicts in the last 20th century and also in this quarter of the 21st century. It's unresolved, and unfortunately for mankind, the obscure solution to this issue is shrouded in splashed blanket of India and Pakistan. And it's also shrouded in the geopolitical interests of the nations of this world who are strong and have Kashmir as a bait to twist the arms in order to achieve their economical interest, resources, and their influence in the geopolitical world of that region. Historians and archaeologists and poets and travelers have shrouded Kashmir in their own molds and models. In the mysterious finding of the past, there was a German professor, an anthropologist, who came to Kashmir, and he traveled all over the world and wrote a book which is one of the famous books in the world, The Chariots of the Gods. Von Jenkins was his name, and I did listen to his lecture in SP College, where he said that he went to Naranag temples, which are located in Kashmir, and there he found a remnant of radioactivity. I don't know what he meant out of that, but he does speak of. In the Sir Oral Stein was a British Jewish traveler who came to Kashmir, and he found very vibrant society of Kashmir, which he talks about in his book. In the medieval times, when Genghis Khan and Halaku Khan devastated the Arab world and Central Asia, people from all those areas came to Kashmir and sought relief, and Kashmiris and settled there. We still have Mr. surname like Qadri and Bukharis and all that, which are from Central Asia, who settled. And Kashmir was a peaceful place, and it was above the sea level, about 5,000 feet above the sea level, into the mountains. The horses could not come there to invade them, so it became a very peaceful and a place where they could take refuge. Those people who do not believe that Christ was crucified. For them, there was an American writer, again a historian and an archaeologist, Olson. She went all across those areas and found that in Kashmir there is burial of Christ is in Kashmir, and she wanted the whole world to the governments of world to get into the what you call testing of that grave so that they could they could see if it is correct or not. On the borders of Kashmir is a town Murray, which is basically there is believed to be the tomb of the Mary, the mother of Jesus. These are Kashmir's interests that people need to know. There is a biblical village which is called Bethpur, and it is said that Moses is buried there when he left the Israelites and traveled towards the east. It's a very interesting place for world to find out. the lost tribe of the Jews, which is known, what that's what Sir or this Oral Stein writes in his book, that these are the people, they are the long travelers who came from all the way from Palestine, which is Israel, and settled in Kashmir, which is now we have a country with all these claims made there. We have a country, India, who have abused Kashmir to the extent that even we have right now a war going on in Gaza. At least what is happening is that social media, and you can find pictures of what is happening in Gaza. But in Kashmir, there is so much of prohibition that anybody who is walking, a policeman can come and take his cell phone and see if there is something which is incriminating against India. And if it is such, he will be straight away put under the AFSAPA, which is Armed Forces Special Act. And under that act, it's a draconian act which the Parliament of India has passed for particularly for Kashmir. Under that act, you can pick up anybody and put him in the prison for 2 years without any recourse to the justice of Sapa. And it is there for the last 3 decades. Another draconian law is Public Safety Act, PSA. And under that law, you can pick anybody and put him in the jail. Mr. Kazi referred to Yasin Malik's incarceration. There are all these laws are under these draconian implementation by executive authority of India, which have no social contract with the Kashmiris at any stage. On top of it, it talks about that we are the greatest democracy. I am surprised that when Prime Minister of India comes to United States and then gets up under those applauds, the joint Congress says that you and we are the two democracies. One is the biggest and another is the oldest. Now that is straight away an abuse to the democracy of United States. Look at this democracy of United States. We are in this hall. It belongs to the people of America, but still, as a as a democratic country, I am able to speak about peoples who are 10,000 miles away. And when I came into this building, nobody asked me, what are you doing here? If I do this thing in India, I would be put in the jail. First of all, would be having no recourse to any of their parliament or legislative buildings where I could not to speak, talk about India. So it is important for Americans to understand that democracies which do not function on the ground cannot claim themselves to be a democracy. It is a non-functional democracy there in India, completely a non-functional democracy. A democracy does not have 800,000 army in hamlets, on streets, in villages, asking the locals to show their identity card if they belong to Kashmir. That's not a democracy. There is for the last 6 to 7 years, I think, more than that, I don't have the count, that there is a governance which is by the center, federal government imposed on the might of this people, this army. I mean, now the army, the other, you talked about India and Pakistan army. I mean, the Indian army is not now able to fight a regular army because they are so much involved in to oppressing the civilians in Kashmir. 600 to 800,000 army in civilian areas. I can understand it on the border, but in civilian areas, administering the governance. And then that Mr. Modi comes here in United States and says that we are the biggest and the oldest. There might be statistically, it may be the population, maybe 1.5 billion people there, and yes, but it cannot compare itself with the democracy of the United States. And that is something the United States government needs to understand and not clap. And before that, they have to find out whether this democracy is functioning or it's only something like a mouthpiece. So this was, I don't want to take much of time, but what is important, that the democracy is very important, and we have to. Thank you very much.